He also wrote another article, veterans who could be on the trade block, 2025. So we've got Kirk Cousins, DeAndre Swift, Tyreek Hill, George Pickens, Michael Mayer, Hendrickson, Walker, and Jair Alexander. Let's talk a little bit about Cousins. That's a guy who's kind of connected with the Browns. There are a lot of Browns fans that are kind of down on him. He's washed. I don't think that is the case. I think if you look a little closer into what happened last year, played really well early, had a bad game where he got banged around and was never the same after that, and played horrible to end the season.
Yeah, I mean, the tough part is just, again, just like we saw with Aaron Rodgers in New York, coming off that Achilles is not easy. And you could see there were times last year where he just wasn't physically right. It just didn't look like he could step all the way into it and really couldn't do all of the things that Zach Robinson wanted him to do in that offense, right? Talk about an offense that employs a lot of bootlegs and things like that. And Cousins just couldn't move as well. So maybe another year removed from the Achilles, get his base back under him in his lower body, he could be better, And I know the Browns have been the team talked about most with him. Obviously, there's a connection there with Kevin Stefanski from the Minnesota days. So I do think if it does happen, it's more likely to happen after the draft. I think the Browns want to see where they come out with their quarterback situation, whether it's somebody number 2 overall or possibly number 33 overall, or maneuvering from that spot into the first round or back a little bit. I think they're going to take a moment around the draft to assess their whole situation. If it's a rookie in there along with Kenny Pickett, if they don't end up with a rookie that they might want, but the Falcons don't have a whole lot of urgency behind this either, and Arthur Blank has said as much. So I think it's still going to be a slow play with Cousins. It's possible that he could still get traded on draft weekend, but I think it's entirely possible it could happen after that.
How likely do you think it is Michael Mayer gets traded? Again, they have Brock Bowers, so the tight end from the Raiders. That's another name that's kind of been associated on the periphery with the Browns.
Yeah, I think it's going to depend on the return. I would call it probably 50-50. I think, look, Bowers is a very versatile player who can play around the formation, in the slot, outside, wherever. And having a classic tight end like Mayer still benefits the Raiders a decent amount. It's just that he was a high second-round pick, and I know he's off to a slow start in his career, but certainly more was expected of him. If there was a team that would give the return, maybe even a third or fourth-round pick that would say, hey, we believe in this guy, we really want his talent in the room, and we know he's not going to be the number one guy in Vegas, then I think the Raiders would be amenable to that. Maybe they could take another second tight end in this draft. But, the urgency isn't that high to get rid of him necessarily. I think it's more of a buyer's market with him where it's, okay, we believe in his talent. We think this guy could still be a starter despite the slow start to his career. I would call it 50-50.